We are in the future.
A happy New Year's, guys. Welcome to the future. Wow, we finally made it here. 2020, an important year for all considering it is the turn of a decade, but especially for me seeing as it is the year that I turn 18 and finally graduate high school. Like, fuck, it's been some 4 years, man. I'm finna go off to college. Or not, but nevertheless, here we are in the future. That's at least what I screamed in Discord VC to my niggas and tweeted after the balls dropped for New Year's. And by balls, I'm not talking about PK Russells. No, I'd never. Thinking about the future got me thinking about Steven Universe future. And that got me thinking about Steven and how much therapy this sad, confused adolescent teenager needs. Just look at him, he's so sad. The events of Steven Universe right into Steven Universe the movie detailed how Steven was your typical, in many ways reactive and then proactive protagonist. Then again, I think being born right in the midst of the calm of an intergalactic war kind of gives you a lot of things to react to, so not like he had much of a choice in the first place. Irregardless, from the show's multiple seasons to the movie, Steven's main role was to find his own way and make a change in the world as he saw morally fit, and on the way ended up righting a lot of the wrongdoings committed by his mother in the process. This is the typical way a protagonist in a traditional story operates. They operate from the concept of either being proactive or reactive to the concept of changing their environment and their future. In typical fashion, it goes up to the series' penultimate, and then it ends. Everyone's happy, everyone's a new and better person, and everyone has changed. In these situations, the protagonist has the power to make a change in their and other situations, and sometimes has the power to sing about it as well. Some protagonists, and the most popular type in anime as of late, have the power to make that change with just words and long-winded speeches alone. They take action because they know and believe in their capacity to help themselves and help others and make a change. But what happens when the protag, after the events of their journey, still tries to change those who don't need it and can't come to terms with the effects of said change they made? What happens when they're the problem? Poor Steven Quartz Universe.
Breakdown. Listen, breakdown. Listen, breakdown.
Steven Universe and Steven Universe Future has a lot of problems. These problems stem from Steven's inability to realize that as the protagonist, it isn't his job to just save everyone, and that all the change that he's made may cause change that he doesn't really like. Instead of spending his adolescence doing stupid shit and going to school, because of the situation he was born into, he doesn't exactly have all those things as an option. Seeing as most of you watching are probably overly emotional coming of age adolescents, you know just how even more intense everything seems when you're a teenager. So imagine dealing with this already overly intense shit and then being constantly bombarded and overwhelmed with it. Yeah, you just might crack a bit. That seems to be what a part of Steven Universe Future explores. It's an epilogue series that explores the problems and effects of the main series. A reoccurring thing that happens to Steven in these moments where he's at a realistic limit is that he'll get really pink and angry and almost beat this shit out of someone. Happened right in the first episode. Here's what the Steven Universe fandom has dubbed as Pink Steven, or Steven's pink form.
Father, go inside. I won't let you get away with this!
This made his first appearance in Change Your Mind as a basic physical representation of Steven's growth in the series. From trying to be like and live up to his mother, to trying to atone for her actions with finding out more about her, to realizing that Steven is Steven and his mother is his mother. All versions of her. You'd think that with all that nonsense would come the immediate acceptance of his mother, right? Of course you don't. That ain't natural, and that's kinda why this form exists. This is a physical representation of Steven trying to suppress the feelings he has for his mother. He wants it out of his mind along with her abilities given to him as well. Kick-ass abilities, but they come with emotional baggage, so what are you gonna do? Probably currently and arguably the best example and representation of this externally though, is in the episode Rosebuds. In this episode, Steven meets 3 different rose quartzes. This one being the objectively best, by the way. I ain't make the rules. Now they obviously look exactly like Rose Quartz, Steven's mother. Because of his obviously understandable thoughts about his mother, he acts super weird around these rose quartzes who we're supposed to think were none the wiser, but actually knew just how awkward it was for him. Everyone kinda just knows how awkward these things are for him, but Steven can't really communicate his feelings to talk about it directly to anyone. That's why we want Connie back. Like, for fuck's sake, this man is going through it. The other day after a long night of theater practice and me making shots because fuck ReBRiLLiANCE, I went home with my best friend and we basically both had a talk about the subject of this video. We basically realize that Steven does need some form of a human connection right now, or at least a down-to-earth, more understanding person in his age range who's been through the same shit as him. She may obviously not have gym powers, but she's been there to experience all of this with them for a while now. So I'm pretty sure we all can say that she can at least empathize a bit with them. Like I mentioned offhand earlier, Steven's one of those protagonists who loves to sing about change, but then also simultaneously about life not wanting to change and then change again. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's just the human in him. We all want things to change, but at the same time want everything to stay the same and keep us happy. But then in typical fashion, something gets the cogs turning again. That's just how life works. Mom out of your mind? Well, guess what? Look at what she's done to this poor rubber hose baby. Right in your face. Keep thinking about it till she ain't the only scared one. Get fucked in the head about it while you check your messages about gym shit. And look volleyball dead in the eye while doing it. The one eye. Yeah, yes, the working one. Shit's pretty wild, right? I definitely would not want to be in Steven's position right now. As baity as the title of this video is, it's Steven who is the center of all this. Personally, I don't think I can handle being in the same position as him. And that's with or without the gym powers. The lasting effects of what his mother has done have affected him in a pretty understandable way, minus the superpowers. Only problem is that he doesn't really know what to do with himself, and in the process ends up stepping on some toes. Examples like what he did with Jasper and Amethyst, and in the process to other gyms he feels like he has to rehabilitate and help, when some of them niggas are just fine doing what they choose to do. Granted, that's not every situation as with the two Lapises, but it does apply in the point that I'm trying to make. When Steven Universe as a series and an arc came to a close, Connie dipped like any normal nigga would to pursue a career. Steven didn't have that luxury, but at the same time also put a lot of shit on himself. Again, when he has a team ready to help him. He's in the habit of thinking everyone needs his help or everyone else is the problem. He feels as if he needs to be everyone's therapist, which I mean he kinda was, but at the same time still doesn't have to be. Like in the episode with Shep, Lars, and Sadie. Steven was the problem and didn't realize that two friends of his worked out an issue off screen without him. When Steven's away handling a different episode, their lives aren't just on pause. Things don't only get solved because of Steven, the active protagonist. Now he's reacting to the thought of that, along with many other things. For a better understanding of this, you guys should watch a video about a roundtable called All Unresolved Plot Points in Steven Universe Future, and it provides a certainly more coherent explanation and layout of these instances that I think you guys should check out. Shouts out Ostrich Vox. Love you too, Kevin. It's clear that Steven is trying to take up some form of hobby to occupy himself. When he leaves little homeschool, he takes up natural gardening and ends up accidentally making Cactus Steven, which again is another representation of his situation. That little cactus nigga ends up spurting more than Steven wants the other crystal gems to hear. It's a recurring theme that he ain't exactly the best at talking stuff out. Not saying you can't yell your problems away, but you can't yell your problems away. In conclusion, Steven, please take a month off. The crystal gems got it. Take up a hobby. You're not a therapist, and stop trying to suppress your cool ass powers you were given to without choice. You'll accept them and get even stronger later on. I just have a hunch. Maybe it'll be when you finally form an opinion on your mom without spazzing out. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it like I always do. I know it's been quite a minute since I made a video like this that you guys typically subscribe for. You know, I don't see why me rambling incoherently about fictional characters is entertaining, but I'm glad some of you find it that way. For the love of God, follow my Instagram. I post dumb pictures of myself, and follow my Twitter. Sometimes my tweets take off randomly. If you also want to help a nigga out, donate to my Patreon. Of course, if you don't, I'll still love you all the same, you beautiful beanbag. Your support means the universe to low me. My final plug here is that I recently went to a convention in my city called WizCon, and it was super fun. I posted a vlog about it on my second channel, and I think you guys would enjoy it. I even got recognized, surprisingly, twice. So there will be a link in the description to check it out if you want, and there also will be an end card for it. If it does well enough, I might upload more IRL type stuff there. Until we meet again, my lovelies, I hope you have a good rest of your day, drink lots of water, subscribe to Chilixion. He makes good videos.
Me in the back, find out why I'm fine. Sunday hustlers Wednesday night. Got to wait till something to sit now. Get now, the rose come out of my head.
Stop it. Ain't like attention. Stop like. Ain't like attention.